power, infinite power, infinite power, infinite power, infinite power, infinite power. Infinite power.
Okay, so, Shauna, did you have a chance to listen to the episode that you missed, or no? And it's okay to say no.
No, I did not. I did not even realize we had one. So tell me what happened.
Well, from Aylin's perspective, she just had to rush home to check on the kids. and had the babysitter had stayed longer than they were supposed to. Probably helped herself. I'm assuming the babysitter's a girl. Maybe I shouldn't. Help themselves to.
I mean, it's 1991, so.
Yeah. Help themselves to some extra snacks. Probably a long distance phone call. But your siblings are like going bonkers once Aylin got home because they saw all these crazy lights in the sky.
Ooh.
Yeah. But that's really all to report. On the home front, everything was good. We don't have names for any of her siblings, right? We never named them. I think one of them probably got in trouble with the sitter for maybe mouthing off. Another kid probably tried to lie and be like, Aylin lets us have double desserts. Something like that, right? But otherwise, all quiet on the home front. When you get to school the next day, Aylin, you don't see Chris or Sam anywhere. They're not in your homeroom. But who is in your homeroom is Tad. And so you get in, and Tad, if you remember, people listening remember, Tad was with Brett. He was there the night that the spaceship, the flying saucer, came out of Lake Maybegone, and he was in the back of Prasad's van, and then disappeared. So this is the first time that you're seeing him since he's disappeared, and he's sitting in his desk, and he looks very agitated. He has a Walkman with the old headphones with the foam right over the earpieces, and he's sitting in his desk. He's blasting some music, some kind of heavy metal, and he looks really agitated.
He's not blasting an Ayn Rand audiobook?
No, that is... No, who would do such a thing?
Sign of the contagion.
Aylin has not had any encounters with the Fountainhead today.
That was the book, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Just for her, yeah.
So, do you want to try to talk to Tad at all? Does Aylin want to talk to Tad at all, or just leave him be?
Oh no, she wants to make sure that he's okay because she's obsessed with making sure people are okay.
Yeah. Okay. So how do you approach him? Because he's looking very aggro.
So I'm thinking she needs to just kind of quietly, calmly walk up and try to tap him on the shoulder and see if she can get his attention without freaking him out.
Okay. Make a charm roll.
We got a 5.
Okay. let me think here. So, you go up, and he's got a couple of pencils that he's using as drumsticks, and he's being like really obnoxious with it, like drumming on like the kids' desks next to him, and like probably on the seat in front of him, and the kid in front of him in the back of his head a little bit. He's being like but he's like really angry. And your homeroom teacher, whose name I forget, hasn't noticed this yet. Distracted by something else. And so Aelin goes up to Tad and taps him on the shoulder, and he's startled. He jumps in his chair, and he tosses like one of the pencils accidentally flies out of his hand. But when you, Aelin, when you see the pencil go, like your perception of its movement is a little weird. And at first, like it's almost like it's strange to you, and I don't know how she would reconcile it. But it's almost like she sees the pencil kind of slow down a little bit in the air, before it goes wedged into the tile or the drop ceiling tiles. And Tad turns around, and he's really mad. And would Tad curse or not? I don't know. But so maybe not yet. So he's like, "What the hell do you want?"
And so Aelin's totally put off because the last time she saw him, he was really ill in the back of a van, and then he disappeared.
Yep.
And so she stammers and doesn't really know what to do to collect her words, and then just tries to politely say, "Hey, are you okay? We didn't know where you went."
He says, how do you ask? Like, because this is somebody genuinely asking, like, is he okay? I think he would probably just do like jock mode, like, yeah, whatever, I'm fine. It's none of your business. He puts his headphones back on.
So I think she'd be really upset and offended, but she doesn't know him well enough, so she'd just kind of walk away and go sit down and just kind of be mopey that this didn't go very well as she hoped.
Charlie Brown walked back over to her desk. So the bell rings, and this is 92, so there wouldn't be... No, there could be like closed circuit TV video announcements. So the bell rings, and your homeroom teacher she does that thing where she clears her throat to try to get the class's attention, and maybe in like a very Umbridge kind of way, depending on who I gave you for homeroom teacher, and I don't remember. But it's clear that Tad isn't going to pay attention to what's going on, and like the drumming is continuing and getting wilder and wilder, and the kid sitting in front of him needs a name. Who should it be? It's a good 1990s and early 90s, late 80s kid name. Let's call him
Taylor. In Jonathan Taylor Thomas. So Taylor.
I was going to go with that or Zach from Saved by the Bell. So either way.
Zachary Taylor, former president, sitting directly in front of Aelin. Zach Taylor is a smaller kid. He's kind of a pushover, but this constant being like drummed in the back of the head is really starting to make him mad. He raises his hand, and let's see. Oh, it's Mrs. Kerensky. the social studies teacher, with the Boris Yeltsin picture.
I remember her being really decent.
Yeah.
But just kind of awkward.
Yep. Yeah. Zachary Taylor Jonathan Thomas raises his hand. And his family's very wealthy.
It's like a Wheel of Fortune puzzle.
He's like, Mrs. Kerensky, Tad keeps hitting me in the head with his pencils. And Kerensky is like, Tad, stop it. And Tad doesn't hear, or at least he acts like he can't hear, because he's still like listening to whatever his tape is. And so Kerensky gets madder, and he's like Tad, stop it, headphones off. And he still ignores her, and then she goes up and she walks down the row of desks next to him and snatches the headphones off his head, and actually takes the whole Walkman from him, and is like, you know the rules, young man, no distractions, no music in class. And Tad loses his mind. Tad freaks out on this. He's like from 0 to 100, like just kind of like drumming, like aggressively drumming, to just like incoherent screaming at her. There's curses mixed in there, threats, but right away, like really, really, really upset at this. Probably actually doing the angry adolescent, like scream crying kind of thing. He's all red faced, tears going, really, really angry. Kerensky takes, like, she's taken aback at first because this isn't like Tad. Tad is kind of he's a tool, but he's not like this, right? Tad's one of those kids on the basketball team that just gets into hold me back kind of fights, where like the boys stick their arms out as like, come on bro, but it's really a sign for their friends to grab their arms and pull them back so they don't get punched in the face. That's Tad's normal style, not this like guttural screaming crying thing. So Kerensky puts the Walkman in her desk drawer, and she grabs, there's a phone on the wall. She picks up the phone, presses a number, and calls for Mr. Gus. Mr. Gus is there in a flash. At that point, Zach has turned his desk over. Mr. Gus grabs Tad in a bear hug, and around the waist from behind, like hoists him up in the air. Gus is considerably larger than Tad, and carries him out of the classroom. And this is where we left off last week, with I know Sam and Chris and Brett out in the hallway, where Brett was reading The Fountainhead and spouting very basic, generic kind of oppressed teenager stuff at Sam and Chris, while Chris was trying to measure his Adam's apple. And so from the hallway, the kids outside the classroom see Gus, because this is 1992, they see Gus throw Tad across the hall into the lockers, and then grab Tad by the arm in what my mom called the mom hold. The go-to parent grab by the bicep kind of thing. Yup, right in the meat of the bicep. and is dragging him down the hall to his office. At that point, the PA system kind of comes to life. Crackle, that's the word I'm looking for, crackles to life. And the principal, Mrs. Stark, comes over and is just like the usual droning, emotionless announcements for the day. So, remember, rehearsals for the school play are starting soon. And lunch today is corn dog with fries and Jell-O. And
I'm imagining that you're telling right now is exactly how it sounds.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah. Mrs. Stark is not. She did not. I think she's one of those principals. One of those principals who never expected to be a principal. Right?
Yeah.
There's Jell-O today. Remember, you only get one milk. Extra milk is 50 cents. Congratulations to the boys basketball team for their victory last night over whatever school they played. That's me, not her. She would know.
Or Brownstown.
Yeah. And the last thing on the announcements is that the school is forming a committee for prom. And all interested students should sign up outside of the library at lunch today. Sign-ups will be up all week. And the PA crackles off, the bell rings, and all the students from Kerensky's class bail immediately out into the hallway, and it's just like this cacophony of like, you wouldn't believe what just happened. Tad went crazy. And that's where I turn it over to all of you.
So, I'm going to use the word hullabaloo.
That's a good word.
In this hullabaloo, in this chaos, do I need to roll to see if I see Sam, or are you going to let me have that one? Or not Sam, Aelin. How crowded is the hall?
I mean, it's crowded. It's like that school in Georgia on the first day of classes with no masks crowded.
Okay, well, let me, let's see here.
But, yeah, I want you to roll for it, and we'll see.
You want that to be a
yeah.
brains? I'm not fighting anyone. I mean, unless I'm swimming upstream.
Unless you're pushing through the crowd.
Right. How do you? The only reason I ask is that'll affect my.
What's your?
That'll affect my
the crowd.
What's your highest stat?
Grit. That's how I didn't get got by the aliens.
Yeah. Grit.
So I can fight I'm not fighting my way upstream would not be hard, but I didn't know if you wanted how much of a challenge you wanted to make this.
I mean, honestly, I think that's probably what Sam would do.
All right, sounds good. That is a 9.
Okay.
Which let's see. Yeah, a 10. Yeah, so I got my rules here.
Yep.
A task where success is certain for characters who are skilled at it, but not for those who aren't.
Okay.
And a 10 is a task where success is impressive, but completely expected for characters skilled at it.
Okay. Yeah. So, you get it. You
shout out to the kids on bikes.
So, yeah. Oh yeah, and we have to work on our report card idea.
Sure.
I totally forgot about that until just now, because what I need is more work.
So it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's a 10 out of 12. Or
Okay.
a 10 on my D12.
Oh, okay. What stat is her? What stat do you have the D20 on?
Grit. So I'm not trampled. so people are trying to hold me down for.
So you okay? So, all right. I think I got you. So yeah. So you hear the bell ring and like people are bailing, and you saw that it was Tad. You recognized him. You kind of like zeroed in on him, and pre-existing knowledge that Aelin is in that homeroom. Sam just has this
doing like this swim move through people.
Yeah.
Kind of pushing him to the side.
Yep. Yeah.
Not saying excuse me.
Yeah. Yeah, and there are parts of that where like you see a couple of overpacked Jansports coming your way. And it seems like how am I gonna do this without like taking a thermos to the funny bone or whatever?
Right.
But it turns out it's like very Harry Potter and the Knight's Bus kind of a thing. Even to her surprise a little bit, actually, how well she's able to just kind of like slip through unbothered. But that sensation just lasts a very briefly of like, though I don't know how I got past those two boys, but here we are.
But it wasn't as though time stood still. It was as though they passed through. I passed through them almost.
Yeah, just like how you were describing, like moving, like walking through a concert, or even just like a crowded. I mean, we've all walked through crowds before, so like when maybe she just misjudged how close they were, and she had got through no problem, but that sensation just lasts a second, and she sees Aelin, and like her focus is on Aelin, and so Aelin. Well, let's go to Chris before we go back to Aelin. Joan, what does Chris do in all this chaos?
You know, I'm on the fence. I think she wanted to go somewhere so she could look at her notes. You know, she did measure Brett's laryngeal prominence.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she did like ask him questions. So she want to go kind of think about her data, and you know, doesn't want to have to deal with any of the craziness.
Yeah.
You know, she's one of those. I mean, unless it serves her purpose, like if there's a crowd to see something particularly enticing, she will go.
Yeah.
If she has other objectives, she'll be like, I can't deviate from what I need to do. You know, she'll open her little notebook with her little golf pencil.
It's very, very singular of purpose.
Yeah, I mean, you know, especially because Brett was reading Fountainhead.
Yeah.
Which no one should do, and that's just
No.
me editorializing.
Oh no, I did not pick that book because I am looking for any kind of sponsorship. I wanted the worst book I could imagine.
I've never read it. I only recognize it because it comes up in Dirty Dancing.
Yep, we talked about that last week. Yeah. Oh, I haven't read it either. But in my Revolutions course, so I'll say here what I say in the Revolutions class once we go over and define like political beliefs in the United States today. It's that libertarians are just stupid anarchists. So,
Correct.
that's all it is. Intense belief in the value of local control is good.
I look forward to your emails.
Yeah. Yeah, please. Whatever. Santa
Let me tell you
Clausian.
how wrong you are in various capitalized tweets.
I don't care. I got tenure. Santa Clausian belief in the free market, also there. So that is
Just 'cause you can't
libertarianism.
see the invisible hand doesn't mean it's not there, man.
Yeah,
Anyway, that's Brett.
yeah. That was what Brett was doing.
Well, yeah, she has all these theories, right?
Yep.
She wanted to first know if he's reached puberty.
Yeah,
That's why she measured his laryngeal prominence.
yeah. Oh, and the other, before I forget too, because I don't want this just to be putting libertarians on blast with Brett's new direction. One thing I learned when I was doing research on this book project about the anarchist movement in the United States was that, like, extreme anarchists believed that even things like not just marriage, but that sex was a type of oppression because it allowed somebody else to control your time and your body. And
That's very sad for the anarchists.
yeah, and so like there were these hardcore. Oh yeah, these people were wild. There were all kinds of rumors about how they would have like nudist colonies and stuff ironically in the Northwest. Yeah, like they
Check for that in an upcoming episode.
Oh yeah, we're gonna find some buried anarchist archive, a real Palpatine vault here. But yeah, like that wasn't how most of the anarchists were. This was just a very small segment of them. But yeah, like anything.
That's why they're so sad, right? Like,
They
sex is bad. But
anything that required an appointment, which is they included sex on that. They thought that sex should be something that's spontaneous, which I got nothing to say on that. But
they clearly had no children.
yeah.
I can see that's where you want to be going.
Yep.
They clearly had no children.
It's actually correct.
Yep. So
How does next Friday 5 p.m. look for you? Let's see. What's the kids?
We got karate.
Oh no, we have swimming.
Yeah.
How about
so
in the morning?
all of Brett's stuff about how Brittany was oppressing him was very much rooted in that.
Okay.
Yeah. Just so I could have equal opportunity to put people on blast. So
Brittany was. Well then, Chris has read The Fountainhead because at one point she was obsessed with Dirty Dancing.
yeah.
As all teenage girls were.
So anyway, Chris wants to check out her notes. Right?
That's my favorite. So she's going to check her notes because she has all these theories, right? Remember, one of her theories was that he was like alien takeover, kind of like
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yes.
Yep.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers, or another one that I liked, Puppet Masters, where they have that thing attached to their back. A classic. And this would have been pre-Buffy, but it just reminds me of the worst ever considered episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but Bad Egg, which I actually love.
Which one?
It was like the one where there's that, like, they all get an egg and they have to take care of the egg, and then Xander actually boils his egg so that it doesn't die on him, so he won't crack it.
Yeah.
And then the eggs hatch, and there's like some kind of being that attaches to their back.
Yeah, that was a good one. I don't really think.
I know, but if you look at the list of ratings on each episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Bad Egg is considered one of the worst.
Huh. I wouldn't put that.
No.
There's one episode in particular of Buffy that I think is so bad that I try to act like it doesn't exist. But otherwise.
Which one's that?
The season where Spike falls in love with her. Yeah.
It's so sad.
Yeah. And it's like, I can't remember if they show him assaulting her, but it's like strongly hinted at that he attacks her, and then they do the whole love story anyway. Like, that's gross. and Spike was such an interesting character that they didn't that just doesn't fit. So whatever.
Yeah. So she has that idea that he somehow got like transformed by aliens. Her other theory has to do with hormonal changes, hence why she measures his Adam's apple. Like, could he just be going through the change?
Yeah.
The change. That's capitalized, folks, if you're taking notes.
Well, because don't forget, she has it. So she has everything.
No, I love the idea that that's how she refers to
The
it.
change.
Not puberty, the change.
Yeah, man. And so, like, he will now be, he will reach manhood.
Spoken of in hushed and reverent tones.
It's a funny. It's a space for like a funny, childish like misunderstanding of the science too, because like if Chris's mom is menopausal, then like she may be like getting her facts confused and be expecting Brett to be having hot flashes, which I think would be kind of funny. But yeah,
I mean, it's possible, but she's also highly scientific, so she'd be like, it would be one of those things where she'd wonder. I mean, the way she learned about it initially was her mom gave her Judy Blume's "Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret," thinking that would be enough to learn about stuff. And she was like, "Yeah, this isn't going to work." So she, Chris would probably gone to the library and got a human physiology book.
She wrote a letter to Judy Blume asking for like her reference page. I don't. Where are your citations on this, Miss Bloom?
Those endnotes, Judy Blume.
Because I'm like wondering, I mean, it's just such a funny thing. Because it's one of those things where all girls are like, "Have you got it? Have you got it? Have you got it?" And Chris is just not. It doesn't compute with her. She's like, whatever. The change will occur when the change will occur.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And so she has the hormonal perspective, she has the alien perspective. Then I think she'd also have some curiosity at, what Brittany's role is in this. Because all of a sudden they went from all lovey-dovey to him, believing that Brittany is an anchor, like an albatross around his neck.
Yep.
So I think she would duck into any room she saw where no one was there. And then she'd like open her little notepad and kind of ponder each of those, which one is most likely.
Right.
And considering that Brett, I mean, I come from Portugal, so most teenage boys are pretty facially hairy because it's just an ethnic thing. But I'm guessing Brett wouldn't have had much facial hair, so her reaction would be, well, the Adam's apple is not as prominent as I would believe necessary for the change to have occurred. Therefore, that leaves two other possibilities. Aliens.
One of two.
It's either stupid or aliens. I mean, that's always the two.
Right? Aliens, or and then she has, he's just so heartbroken by Brittany's disappearance that, he's like in some kind of fugal state and doesn't really compute. I think she determined that he doesn't have all the markers of puberty, and she really didn't get into other markers that, long showers or whatever is associated with male puberty. So, and I think because she believes that Brittany was abducted, she's going to go with the alien one. Now, her question would be, what kind of alien? Is it an alien that takes over your mind? Is it? And she's also big on the Alien series, the movies, right?
Is it a chest burster?
Like, is he incubating something? Right? Because and there's a big. I was watching. I don't know if you guys seen that show on Sci-Fi, The Great Debate.
Yes.
And so there was a big discussion about which one of the aliens was better.
I'm still waiting for the change.
I don't know. I'd have to check out your.
I want to talk about it.
I mean, because actually, the adenoidal isn't actually like a real thing. It's just like the like cartilage bone thing that just protrudes in males.
I did not
I
know
looked
that.
it up. Well, Chris has to be informed. As you can see, I don't have one. So I was just wondering how that worked. Anyway, so she's leaning towards the alien. Now her next question has to be, A, how did the alien get in? If he got into him. Is he possessed by an alien? Or is he being mind controlled by an alien? And now her next job would be to figure out if he has any kind of like insect-like attachments. Kind of like ticks on him. So that's her next kind of big adventure, trying to figure out if, because it could be different ways. Did he ingest the alien? Is that how he's being mind controlled? Or is there something going to be popping out of him at some point?
Yep.
Or does he have some tick-like that's like maybe at the back of his head?
Mm-hmm.
Nucle. So that's her next mission, is to kind of like. But then, if Tad is also acting weird, she might need to. I mean, because one observation means nothing, so she might also have to go observe Tad, because scientifically and empirically, we need more cases.
Yeah.
I like how everybody's like that.
Yep. An N of 1. An N of 1 isn't going to get her published anywhere.
And his symptoms are a little bit different.
Yes.
So, she might have some theories as to maybe there's a hierarchy among the aliens, and maybe Brett's a little bit above, or and so one of them's being groomed to take over while the other one is a foot soldier.
I like the gigantic leaps in her logic. Like, obviously it's aliens, and obviously he must have something attached to the back of his head.
Yeah.
And
obviously she has to look at Tad, because Tad's acting weird too, and he was there too.
Yeah. Okay.
And Brittany's still missing.
Yeah. Yep. Brittany has. That was something that came up. Is that Brett has no idea. Has no interest in where she is, and remember, Brad said that Brett was acting weird, and wanted to go to the library later.
Yeah, and his dad was all pissed about it.
Yeah, his dad was mad about going to the library to get a library card. Okay, so it sounds like our three heroes, such that they are gonna have a confab in the hallway between classes, to try to figure out next steps, and have a chance to talk to Aelin about what happened in the classroom with Tad. So I think Chris would probably stay there instead of going off to calculate everything and do this cost-benefit analysis of her various theories.
Yeah, she's going to want to share with them, and I think Sam is going to be horrified by her perspective on puberty versus alien versus heartbroken.
Yeah. Okay, so let's have the three girls meet up in the hallway right after Aelin got out of homeroom. So this is all happening now, and just have them kind of trade notes on what happened, what's going on, and see what the others think about this.
So Sam goes up to Aelin. Sorry, we're building my 2-year-old is building another wing of the house, apparently. Sorry. Sam will go up to Aelin, and after everything kind of starts to dissipate, and ask, "Are you okay? Also, what happened with Tad? Because you disappeared last night, which I guess, but what's going on with Tad? Did you talk to him at all?"
So Aelin is totally confused and upset because she was worried about Tad, and Tad just acted like a jerk, and she doesn't know what she did to offend him, but she was trying to help, but now she's just like doing one of those, I'm speaking too fast and talking over myself because I feel bad, but I don't know why I feel bad, and I feel stressed, but I don't know why I feel stressed. One of those kind of moments.
Whoa.
I was being England. That's how
No,
she
I know,
goes.
no, and I mean, Sam goes, whoa, calm down. It's too much. It's too early. Are you okay? Is anything like? Are you okay? Because that was a wild times.
So Anna would briefly tell Sam what Andy already relayed as far as what she experienced when she went home. But then she would jump back into, what the heck did I do to upset Tad? What did we do to him? Why, have you seen him before now? And then she would start devolving into that again.
No one cares. Why did he freak out? No one cares. No one cares about that. Why did he freak out? Because I saw what Mr. Gus. That.
And she'd say, I have no idea. He looked upset, and I wanted to see was he okay. And then he freaked out, and then he screamed, and then there's a pencil, and it was so slow, and I don't know what happened.
Wait, what? Why is? What?
I don't know.
About a pencil?
I don't know. That's just exasperated Joseph. I don't know.
Is he reading the Fountainhead?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
why would he do that?
That's what I gotta look up.
Here's why. Because Brad's acting real weird too. Brad's acting weird because Brad's a weirdo, but Brad's acting weird like in a different way. He's like trying to act like too cool for school. Usually he was just a dork, like like a tool. But now he's like, I don't know, like reading like a book. Like an actual book, not like a picture, not like one of those kids' books, not like the Hardy Boys, like he does, but like a real book. Because Sam hasn't read it because Sam doesn't give a crap about Ayn Rand, nor should she. But she hasn't read it. So, but she does know it's an actual book, and that's weird. That's weird for Brett. So something's going on. That's why I wanted to see if you were okay, because if he's freaking out, we heard a scream, and Brett's reading, then I want to make sure that you're okay.
No, I'm fine, but something happened to them. They're not okay.
For context, for cultural context purposes, Tad was listening to an album that came out August 1991, so it fits. Metallica by Metallica.
That's a great album.
I was either going to say it was Metallica or Black Flag.
No. No.
What does Tad normally listen to? So we can like identify
REM.
No, not REM.
Backstreet Boys.
Late New Kids on the Block. Latter Day and KOTB.
No. I mean, Tad is a white kid on basketball team, so he's firmly in the MC Hammer kind of.
Excellent.
Yeah, yep. Tad probably wears Zubaz to class.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
So what, like Vanilla Ice?
Yeah. Yep.
That was a very popular song, so he would be listening to whatever is popular.
Yeah. Tad has tried to have a couple of lines shaved into the side of his head.
Like ledges?
Yeah.
Why do we do that?
I only laugh and know what that is.
Because
Jackie Boy out from 1991.
Yep.
Did you do that, Mike?
Mm-hmm.
And that's right. Last week,
absolutely.
I didn't have ledges. I would have been more of Brett. Brett had the butt cut. I didn't have that. I had a skater cut in 1990.
What's a butt cut?
This part down the middle.
Oh, like tool time?
Yeah, plastered. And yeah, normally it was plastered to his head, but when this Brett 2.0 didn't put all the hairspray and gel in his hair. And so his hair.
Yeah, because he didn't shower. Remember?
His hair was trained. He looks really greasy, but it's kind of like that. It's kind of frizzy and all over, but still with that buzzsaw part down the middle.
Well, okay. Well, so should we just? This is Sam saying to. So what do we do? Do we just go to class like nothing happened, or like what? I mean, I don't mind skipping. Chris probably does, but
No.
Yes, go to class.
I don't mind skipping because if it means we need to collect more data.
Oh, all right, great. Again, playing this as the blunt self. Sorry.
No. We need to
all right,
collect more data.
Cool. Fine. What do you want to do?
Maybe we need to
Telling
get
people about
Tad.
this?
We need to get Tad and Brett in the same room.
Well, what? How are we going to do that? How are we going to...
Aylin knows both of them.
So Aylin, because Aylin is in charge of everything, Aylin would know that they are all supposed to be at play rehearsal that night, which we haven't. We had left the play rehearsal stuff.
It has to be a dream.
Oh man, I totally forgot about.
Yeah, they had taken a break for the holiday, but they're back, and maybe Brittany will be there because Brittany is the female lead with. And there was another boy, and I forget his name. Was it Jesse? Who was the male lead because Brett bombed his tryout. Chris is the tech crew, the one girl tech crew.
All right, so then do we
Sam
try
is a tree. I forget what Aylin was cast as.
So then do we try and talk to her?
Aylin wasn't in the play. She goes to work.
No.
Oh, that's right. She's got to go to work. That's right.
We're both there. Should we try and... I know you got to work. Should we try and talk to him at play rehearsal? Or should we try and get him to come to the diner?
You should try and get him to come to the diner, and I shouldn't talk to them first because I totally blew it.
Okay. All right. I'll see what I can do. I'll see if we can bring them. You're going to be there after we're done with rehearsal? You're going to be there? I mean, I don't want to bring these. I don't want to bring these two weirdos. They're more weird now. You know that, right? They were dumb before, but now they're dumb and weird.
Yeah, no, I'll be there. I'm going to be doing side work until I die.
That sounds terrible. All right. I don't know what side work is. So
you have clearly never worked in a restaurant.
I haven't worked in a restaurant. Because
Aylin's got that 2020 attitude.
I do not.
But Sam would not know what side work is because that's not her hustle. So she's like, okay, well, whatever side work is, we'll try and bring them in and and get them to talk to us somehow. I don't know.
Okay, that's your job. You're in charge of that, Sam.
I don't.
Maybe we can offer them free fries.
I'll tell. Okay, that's a good idea. I don't.
I can hide some free fries. I'll order them and then say somebody gave them back.
Yeah, I don't like that idea. But I don't like you had that idea, but I like that idea. So we'll say that we'll tempt them with food. That's a good idea. I begrudgingly think that's a good idea.
Well, I have loads of brothers and sisters, right? She's the youngest of a gazillion.
That's true. So yeah, okay. So we'll do that. So we'll watch for us. Keep an eye out for us.
All right.
At the Mustardium.
Well, and Chris would need to maybe make sure that she had ample supply to collect specimens off them. Hair. My hair. What are you talking about? Maybe some saliva, nothing more.
Yeah.
If Chris wants to collect saliva, that's fine.
Chris is going to be the busser for this table. I see a part-time job opportunity here.
Just grabbing the glass with with napkins, just trying to put it in an evidence bag.
No, she'd be weirder because she'd probably grab some tongs from the kitchen, trying to look professional.
grab a fry with a tweezer, stick it in a little test tube.
can attest to that she has in her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, that's the plan.
I'm trying to remember like an old movie or a show or something with like a waitress who is like really like chatty and friendly, and just seeing like Chris trying to emulate something that she saw on TV, because she would know that she doesn't have the social skills to do this, but doing it as a way to try to get like a chance to like pluck one of their hairs out. You know, just something like that. To like, be like really friendly and like gum snapping kind of sassy waitress, but only 14 years old, and trying to like stereotypically like pull a hair out or whatever.
I'm trying to remember was
and just going on and being like, "Hi, I'm your sassy waitress." Maybe. I don't know. It was something lost in my memory, but
Love it.
okay. So we've got 2 scenes set up for next week now. We have play rehearsal.
See, so remember Archie Bunker's Place, the spinoff from All in the Family.
I don't know. I don't.
Well, there was.
I believe you.
And there was like something to do, but there was a kid on that. Like the precocious kid that it ran between 79 and 83. So maybe Chris was watching like old videotapes of All in the Family, or because that takes place in a diner.
Yeah, you know what I'm probably thinking about? I bet I'm thinking about something from Happy Days.
She Ralph Mouth.
I mean,
Yeah. What's the
Potsy. Chris has a Potsy.
Yeah, was she Potsy?
A Donnie Most poster up in her room. Wow. What a
I actually kind of like the idea, and I don't know, Gene, if you like this idea, but I like the idea that she tries as hard to be Al from Happy Days as she can. Like, oh, jeez! Like, that's the only reference she has is Happy Days. I really like that idea.
Took one of her dad's greasy t-shirts to wear. And his apron that's dragging on the floor.
Aggressively unconvincing.
It's so stupid.
It's gonna be awesome.
It's so good.
It's wonderful. You guys, get out of here.
From here, the project just becomes a Happy Days fanfic.
So we're gonna so Sam, there he is.
There he is.
For oh no, or what was it? The Peach Pit? Isn't that Saved by the Bell?
No, that's the Max.
90210. The Max is the Max.
The Max.
Yes, it's from.
Yep.
It's from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
So ours, in keeping with all of the great 90s drama and television,
Yeah.
we have ours. You're welcome.
You know, Maple Oak does need like a kids club, right? It needs like a youth hangout spot, because obviously it wouldn't be the Mustardium. They need like the Max or the Bronze or something like that.
Yeah. Like it would be like,
yeah.
If it were the 80s, it would be the arcade.
Yeah.
But it's the middle of nowhere, so it's got to be like a parking lot behind or something like that. Like, you know what I mean?
What if it's a bowling alley?
Would they go to a bowling alley? Sam wouldn't care. Sam would never go. But would that'd be where the cool kids hung out? Because there'd be some video games and
video games, a lot of smoking,
ample smoking and pinball machines.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And Tetris, and every so often, one of the attendants would look the other way when Brad would come in and a pitcher of beer would go missing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I didn't have anything for Brad this week. I felt bad all week about
Brad.
Yeah.
Brad would never do such a thing.
No, I felt bad all week about how Brad looked last episode, and so this is my mea culpa that Brad is not intended to be making fun of anybody. Brad is actually way smarter than he realizes. So
Brad's a treasure, and we love him.
Yeah, Brad is the best. So we did such a good job of making Brad feel worried about his brother last week that after we recorded, I was like, "Oh man, I hope that didn't go too far. that may have gone a little too far."
Yeah.
No, Brad is fine. He's fine.
He's gonna end up being the MVP, and I'm pretty sure of it.
Yeah, there has to be a way for Brad to be the hero of this. So,
in keeping with the Stranger Things narrative, there's like with Bob. You're like, Bob kind of is weird, and then you're like, oh, Bob, you're the real hero. Spoilers for 2.
All right, we will leave it there for this week.
Yay!
Big plans for next week. Play rehearsal, an Ocean's 11 style con job at the Mustardium. Trying to.
I love that next week I'm going to have to try and charm my way through, and it is my lowest die.
It's going to be embarrassing for you.
It's going to be absolutely wonderful. If you like awkward situations and hijinks, stay tuned.
I don't think anybody would be listening to this podcast if they were not into awkward situations.